Hi guys, this is Arkel here, and yet again I am back with some more Q&A. Yay! I don't know why you guys like this so much. You guys are so silly. Anyway, this particular video I figured that I was drawing two chibis, and I was going to make them in two videos, but I decided to just go ahead and put them in one video because I know I'm making too many chibi videos anyway, and so this way there'll be more time throughout the video so I can answer questions. So it's not just like one or two questions in a video, because that might be kind of annoying. So yeah, hopefully this is a little bit better. It'll be a little bit longer, so there'll be more questions answered. So yeah, here we go. Question 31. Are your parents supportive of your decision to be an artist, or did they want you to pursue something else? Well, luckily for me, my grandmother who raised me is also an artist in her own way. She did many artistic jobs in the past and has always been very supportive of my pursuit of art. Honestly, I think she kind of knew I was going to be an artist even before I did. It was never my parents who told me I should pursue a more financially stable and/or professional career. It was myself that told me that, really. I went through a phase in the beginning of my teenage years where I kind of hated the thought of being an artist, because it had been drilled in my head from school that if you are not some form of scientist or lawyer or doctor, that you will not succeed or be happy in life. There's just so much pressure on children to know what they want to be in life at such a young age, when they haven't really experienced enough of the world to know that yet. So I was really the one who had an unrealistic professional goal for myself, not my parents. Of course, over time I realized that art was the only thing that made me happy, and that, I would rather be a poor artist and love my job than be a very rich doctor and absolutely despise my job. So I'm very fortunate to have supportive parents and... Question 32. Why do you put a blank sheet of paper under your hand as you draw? This is a good question. I do this because if I didn't, my hand may smear and ruin the work I've done underneath. If you draw with your right hand, the best thing to do is to start your shading or coloring at the top left corner of your drawing and gradually work your way to the bottom right. This way your hand will not cover areas you've already worked on. However, if you're like me, you'll prefer to color or shade at random places on the drawing, following no particular pattern. If you do this, it's important to put a piece of clean paper under your hand as you work so you do not smudge the areas you've already finished. This is especially true when using graphite pencil and chalk pastels because they can smear very easily. But even if the material you're using doesn't smudge, the natural oils in your hand can still ruin the coloring or shading of your art. So putting this piece of paper under your hand is very important. Question 33. Do you define your style as either shonen or shoujo? This is another very hard question. You see, I don't really think my art fits perfectly into either of the two type of categories. Yes, I do draw very cutesy kawaii desu sometimes, but I think generally speaking, I have a kind of sort of more slightly semi-realistic style as compared to really super shoujo. And I think that's more of shonen sort of thing when it's more a little bit realistic. So it's hard to say. Also, as far as genre goes, I don't really tend to write the very overly romantic and idealistic stories seen in shoujo, but also not the very overly action-packed and manly whatever stories is in shonen. I like to believe that I have my own style, and it's not necessarily so defined that easily. I also like to believe that art and stories should not be defined by gender, as many things in life should not. Ultimately, pink and blue are just both colors, and nothing other than stereotypical bias says that one defines a certain gender. The same is true of anime and manga, or at least it should be anyway. That being said, if more girls or boys like my art and stories, that's fine, but I just don't like the idea of being defined as an artist appealing to a specifically female or a specifically male audience, because I'm not. Art, is, or at least, should not, be defined by gender. Question 34. Will you do tutorials on how to color black hair in different mediums? Yes, I will probably do a tutorial on that in the future. I know that a lot of people have told me they struggle with coloring black hair, so I'll do my best to show my process for it with different mediums in the future. It's kind of interesting to me, actually. I've never really struggled with coloring black hair at all. It's actually probably one of the easiest colors of hair for me to do. This is really random, but I think blonde hair is probably the hardest for me to color. Question 35. Can you do a tutorial about how to color clothes with Prismacolor colored pencils? Yes, I am definitely planning on making this tutorial. You see, however, a huge part of coloring clothing is knowing the clothes texture, and the way I color with Prismacolor Premier or softcore colored pencils is not always best suited for certain types of clothes, especially in regards to transparent clothes or heavily textured clothes like jeans. So I'll be doing a tutorial about how I generally go about coloring clothes with Prismacolor Premier softcore pencils and very thin pencils combined, most likely anyways. Question 36. Why do you color from dark to light, and does it make a difference? First off, yes, it very much does make a difference, with some media more so than others, but a difference still. The reason I color starting using my darkest color first and working my way to my lightest is because the lightest and or base color will blend more naturally when it is on top of the shadows, meaning that if you layer your lightest color over your darker colors, they will blend out the darkness a bit and make a transition seem a bit more natural. I don't really like the look of cell shading, so I don't really want my shadows to look like cutouts when I add them. I want them to blend gradually into my midtones and then of course to my highlights. In theory, if you put darker colors over lighter colors, you aren't really blending at all, you're just layering them on top. The dark and light rule is especially true of Prismacolor softcore colored pencils and Copic markers, at least from what I've noticed. I'll talk more specifically about each medium in regards to this topic in a walkthrough or / tutorial in the future. Also, I personally would never recommend coloring from lightest to darkest with certain mediums, but with others it's perfectly fine to do so. However, of course, given the choice, I personally would most likely always color from darkest to light. Alright guys, that does it for this next session of Q&A. There's been quite a lot of these. I think there'll probably be maybe one more or so. And then I've pretty much covered all the major questions that you guys have asked. There might be some that I missed. Sorry about that if I didn't answer it in a video. As always, of course, if you do have a question for me, you can still go ahead and leave it in a comment below, and I'll just sort of stockpile them and sort of gather them together, and then go ahead and do another video with questions and answers sometime later in the future. I think I'm going to take a little bit of a break after this next video or so, after I get these questions out of the way that I have now, and then might take a little bit of a break, and then come back to it if there's more questions in the future, which I'm sure there will be, so it's no worries. I'm not going to get rid of it completely, but just take a little bit of break and maybe put some more music in my videos and stuff like that, just for a little change of pace, because I know that not everyone likes the Q&A thing and not everyone likes music, so just switch it up a little bit, but don't worry. Q&A, I'll definitely still keep doing that in the future. It's not completely disappeared, oh, you guys don't have to worry, it's okay. And anyway, I also wanted to say thank you guys so very much. I almost have 1,000 subscribers now, and that is ridiculous. I know I say this in every video, but it's so crazy to me. If you guys know, I've only had my YouTube channel for a few months now, so it's kind of crazy how fast this channel is growing. How many subscribers I get on a daily basis is just beyond me, and my DeviantArt page and stuff like that too is just growing rapidly now too. It's I don't know, it's so cool. I just don't have the words. I'm not so good with the whole explaining emotional thing. Oh, I'm so bad at this. But really, guys, thank you so much. I really would love to do some kind of special 1,000 subscriber thing. unfortunately, this kind of came kind of fast, so I really have no idea what I'm gonna do at all. I really have no idea. Yeah, I don't know. So sorry guys if there's no like really special video or something for 1000. I'm pretty lame at this kind of stuff, and I just don't know. I just don't know what to do or what to say. I'm so sorry, guys. But really, thank you so very much for all the comments and likes and favorites and subscribers and all that stuff. It's just, it really means a lot to me. And I'm sorry that I can't really say it like, say it in words. You guys probably know that I'm terrible at speaking, and I'm really sorry. I'm sorry, guys. But thank you so much for watching, as always, and there'll be more videos and tutorials in the future, so look forward to that as always. So, again, thank you so much, guys, and bye!